Hey guys, Wedge here, and I'm going to do a product review today for you for a new headset that is just released. I believe it was on September 30th is whenever it came out. This is called the Turtle Beach Elite Atlas, and the reason I have my hand right here is because I bought it from BestBuy.com, so my shipping label and all my information is right there. So obviously I don't want to give that out over YouTube. On the back of the box, just to kind of show you what the box looks like, we've got some literature. It kind of explains to you exactly, about the headband, about the earmuffs, all that stuff. The accessories that are included. Elite Atlas there, Turtle Beach logo there, picture of the headset, random stuff on the bottom. Alright, so it's not an unboxing because obviously I've already used the headset. That's why I'm going to do a review on it. It's because I've already used it, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, tell you things I like, tell you things I don't really care for. I've done a number of headset tests with various headsets ranging from all brands. So cheapies all the way to your more expensive ones. The only headset that I've really not tried as far as whenever you get up in price range would be the Beyerdynamics MMX 300s, which I would love to get my hands on, but I just don't want to shell out $350 for a headset. So, these are the Turtle Beach Elite Atlas. And if you're familiar with the Turtle Beach line of headsets and you're familiar with the Turtle Beach Elite Pros, you'll see that these are very similar. The only big difference between these and the Elite Pros, to be honest, two things that I've noticed so far is number one, the suspension customization up top is gone. This is just an aluminum band now. You still have the suspension right here, but you cannot adjust the tension. Now, I'll be honest, I've tried the Elite Pros. I didn't really notice much difference whenever I would release the tension, make it tighter. I didn't really notice that much of a difference. The main thing I noticed was the adjustments on the actual ear cups, like whenever I would slide them up or down, obviously, but that was really about it. I did not notice so much the tension here, so I don't really think that that's a necessary function in my personal opinion. The other difference, well, actually there's three differences, I just thought of another one. The other difference, though, is on the ear cups themselves, on the insides here. This foam right here is not the cooling gel. This is just simply memory foam. It's got like a almost like a wicking away material here on the ear cup. The outside is leatherette, of course, but then on the inside it's got that wicking away material. But it does not have the cooling gel, which kind of stinks because that was really kind of a cool feature. Probably my favorite feature of the Elite Pros, just because it did kind of keep your ear kind of feeling cool. I'm not going to lie, as you wear these over time, they will heat up. It's just the nature of it being a closed back headset, especially with the leatherette on the outside. And these are thick ear pads, so I noticed my ears did get a little warm, not terrible. I wouldn't say more than normal with most headsets that use leatherette and that are closed back, but still they will get warm. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. The other difference, while we're talking about differences, big difference anyway, between this and the Elite Pro is that the cord is no longer fastened to the headset. So on the Elite Pro, you had a cord that came out to about right here, and then there was a proprietary connector that would hook to the rest of your cable. It was a pain because it was a proprietary connector. In other words, if it breaks, you had to order it from Turtle Beach, which means that it was probably, I think, around $35-40 just for the cable. And then on top of that, if the cable were to get a short up here where it connected to the headset, you're pretty much screwed because your headset was going to be worthless at that point. You couldn't fix it. The nice thing about this is, and I hope you can see it, yeah, you can, there's two ports there. So this one, the back one, is for the headphone jack, and this one is for your microphone. Now the mic is a little different from the last generation one, if you will, because this does not have a pop filter on the outside. Instead, it kind of looks like the noise canceling tournament mic. It's got the Turtle Beach logo there. This is plastic here. But on the inside, Turtle Beach actually did something kind of cool because there's actually a pop filter built in. As you can see, it doesn't protrude out. Built in just before the mic picks up your voice. I actually like that a lot because one thing I don't like about pop filters is sometimes the fuzzy little pop filter part just rubs up against you, or it's, if you get it too close or something like that, or it falls off. This is nice because it's fixed in there, so you don't have to worry about it falling off, which is really kind of cool. This thing is very adjustable. Obviously, you can see the metal where it bends, flexes, it'll stay whichever way you decide to make it stay. So that's pretty cool. So we'll just plug the microphone into the headset, if I can get it to go the right way. Oh, please. Well, maybe. I say that. There we go. Okay. So, this is what the headset looks like with the microphone attached. So again, looks just like the Turtle Beach Elite Atlas in my personal opinion. The only difference is it does not have the orange highlights or accent marks. But I kind of like the subdued with the gray personally. The orange, I think they really followed that color pattern mainly because I think it came out at about the same time Black Ops 3 did. So they kind of, took off from it and did some aesthetics as far as that goes. Couple cool things that they've added to this particular headset. So on these sides, on the ear cups, they kind of took a play out of the Astro playbook because what these do is these actually peel off and they are magnetic, just like the Astros. I have another headset, a Beyerdynamic custom game, that has a similar function, but the actual side plates mount via an Allen wrench. So you have to unscrew 4 screws, take off the plate, put the new face on, put the plate back on, screw it in. It doesn't take long, but it's tedious. This is kind of cool because it's simply you just pull it off, put the new plate on. Turtle Beach does sell these on their website. I haven't seen them just yet because I believe this headset's brand new, so I don't believe that they've got it up just yet. But you can customize them too. So I know like Optic and all these other gaming teams obviously have their own already made, but you will be able to get your own branding should you choose to do so. Now I don't know if you'll be able to, like, to the extent of what customization they will allow because again it's not up. But from what I understand, they are going to try to copy Astro or follow Astro, should I say, in that regard, as far as trying to make it a little bit more customization or customizable and a little bit more personal to you. So, other than that, though, this is very similar to the Elite Pro. The ear cups still swivel, so that's one really nice function. If you're playing your game, you don't want to have them resting like this because these are 50mm drivers, so they jut up into my chin. I can simply do it like this, and bam, they're pretty snug and comfy right here. The cable that comes with these, let me grab the cable here for us. Put the headset down. So the cable that comes with these is about a meter. So it's plenty long if you're playing it on console. This does come with an extension. I don't have the cable in here with me, but it is a Y extension for PC, which makes it even longer, so you can use these on PC. Obviously, with this having a 3.5mm headphone jack, it will work on your Switch. It will work on your PlayStation 4. It will work on your Xbox. It will work on your PC. It will work on your mobile. It will work on your iPad. It will work on anything that takes a headphone jack, it will work on. Now, there is a downside to this. This particular side, as you can see, is a 3-pole connector, right? That's the poles. The black lines represent the poles. So there's 3 lines, which means it's a 3-pole. This side, however, sorry for the accent, is a 4-pole. So there are 4 lines, which I know you really can't see because my camera's deciding not to focus, but just trust my word on this. This is the side that plugs into the headset. Now here's the downside to this headset already that I personally have. One reason I purchased this headset was because I was under the assumption, since it accepted a 3.5mm headphone jack into the headset, that I could basically use a straight up, just another 3.5, auxiliary cable. That turned out not to be the case. Whenever I took the cable that connects to my HyperX Alphas, which is again a 3.5 standard, and I plugged these in, they did not work. You have to have the 4-pole connector. And the reason this stinks is because I really thought Turtle Beach was doing a universal, like, not a one side, a proprietary bullcrap like what was in the old headset, or like what Astro does, because Astro does the same exact thing, except for they use a 5-pole, and it's a little bit longer, connector that goes into their headset. But it's really annoying. So basically the way I take it is, if I'm not mistaken, unless you can find another 4-pole cable, you're going to have to buy, again, this cable from Turtle Beach. While I like the fact that the cable isn't connected to the headset, so that is a point in their favor, because you don't have to worry about a cord that's connected getting a short in it and then it's completely screwed. You have a jack there. It still stinks for the consumer that you have to buy a proprietary cable. Now again, I may be incorrect. It may work with any standard 4-pole if you can find one. I don't know that I've seen a 4-pole, at least not at my local Best Buy, my one Radio Shack that's open, because Radio Shack's gone out pretty much. It's not just something that I can go out to the store and pick up. It's going to be something I have to order from Amazon or from a .com or wherever online, and that kind of stinks. So that's one of my rants with this thing right off the bat. I will be honest that does kind of stink. Now, as far as comfort with this headset goes, this headset is comfortable. There are a few things that take away from that comfort, in my personal opinion. Again, I am comparing this headset to multiple headsets. I'll be straight up honest. If you bought this headset and you're coming from a lower end headset, let's say you've got a $40 Turtle Beach, or you've got some other cheap headset, even something comparable in this price range, other than maybe the HyperX series, you're going to be happy with this headset. It's very nice. The one thing you'll notice, though, I don't care what headset you probably come from, you're going to notice the weight. This thing is stout, and it's because it's built well. It's got aluminum on the top of the headband. It's got aluminum underneath these plastic pieces reinforcing it, so you've got a lot of metal in the construction. And even this top plastic, it's hard plastic, so it's heavy. It's built to last, which I can appreciate. That's you're not going to get points taken away for that, but at the same time, the weight is an issue because I wear these things for 45 minutes and I am quite honestly ready to take them off. They are heavy. I think if I'm not mistaken, whenever I looked up the specs, these things were like 400 grams, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but in comparison, whenever I compare these to, again, I'm going to bring up my Beyerdynamics, my custom game headset is only like 270 or 280. So at least over 100 grams less. Still metal construction. Still has 50 millimeter drivers. Still built like a tank, quite honestly. So that is a concern here, is these are heavy. Now, you'll have to try them on for yourself because, again, fit is very subjective, much like sound. But they are comfortable. They are just heavy. I will say that up front. They are heavy. Now, how do they sound? Well, they sound good. They still have that. They're tuned obviously for gaming. These are not a neutral audiophile type headset. These are designed for gaming. They were designed supposedly by pro gamers, by their specifications. So one thing that I noticed with this particular headset compared to most other headsets that I've used, they fall in the vein of the Turtle Beach Elite, and while that one was a little bit more neutral sounding, these have good bass response, but they really help to push the mids and the treble, emphasis on the treble, which I can understand because treble, typically if you ever use an Astro mix amp or if you use any kind of Turtle Beach mix amp or any mix amp that's related to gaming, they will have a mode that is called the Pro mode, and it will basically push treble. Because treble in games is where you hear your footsteps. That's where you can kind of get that pinpoint accuracy of where people are. You don't get it from your bass. Mids contribute to it, but it's mainly treble. So treble is really pushed on these, as well as the mids. They do have a little bit of a V-shaped pattern, so the bass is still there, and then the treble is boosted, but the mids are strong too. The downside to that, these are loud. That's not normally a bad thing. These are powered very easily by the Xbox One controller, very easily. They get extremely loud though, and with that treble, it's almost shrill. It is very piercing if you turn these up all the way. So you're not going to want to play with these up all the way. I promise you, you will not. Unless you are already going in the direction of being deaf, you're not going to want to do that because these are only going to help in that endeavor. So you want to turn these down a little bit. But the treble is good. The bass is good. I was able to pinpoint, I could hear things from relatively far off. I could pinpoint where people were. Still have the same issue with, which you have with most headsets, as far as being able to pinpoint if somebody is above you or below you. Verticality on headsets isn't quite there just yet. They haven't mastered that. But as far as to your right, to your left, behind you, in front of you, all that, and I'm even, I've used these on stereo. I don't fall for the gimmick of surround sound. I've got Dolby Atmos on my Xbox One. I still play any game like PUBG or Fortnite or anything like that with stereo because I can pinpoint footsteps 10 times out of 10 times better with stereo. So, anyway, these sound good though, but like I said, you're not going to turn them up all the way. The treble is a little overbearing in that regard. So, would I recommend these? I would, with the caveat of if you already have a pair of HyperXs, especially the Cloud series, the Cloud 2s, the Cloud X, or especially the Cloud Alphas, I don't feel like you're going to benefit from this headset. It has a very similar sound signature to the Cloud X. It still has that V-shaped pattern. The Cloud X pushes, or the Cloud Alpha rather. I'm sorry, the Cloud Alpha pushes the bass, it pushes the treble, it has boosted mids, but it's got that V-shaped design. But the Cloud Alpha is much lighter. It is incredible how much lighter it is than this thing. This thing is a tank. The Cloud Alpha feels like a refined sports car compared to it. And it also has the cable that you can unplug and all that stuff. So it's got basically the same features. The microphone sounds just as good. So I can't recommend it to people that already have that particular headset or have experienced that headset, unless you just want to get back to being a Turtle Beach fan, because this is a better Turtle Beach headset. Turtle Beach has not always been known for putting out the best headsets. They have some that are great, and then they have some that are really cheap and really just kind of crap. This is not one of those. This is a good headset. With that being said, I have a small collection of headsets. I will probably not keep these just because they don't do any one thing better than the headsets that I already have. They aren't more comfortable than my Sennheiser Game 1s. They're not more comfortable than my Beyerdynamics. They don't sound any better really to me than my HyperX Alphas or my Beyers. So I will probably not keep these for that reason. If I didn't have some of those headsets, then yeah, I would probably keep these. But I can't see myself wearing these over those other headsets based on just the fact that these are heavier. But that's my personal situation. Again, if you're coming from having only one headset or having a cheaper headset and not really having a quote-unquote pro quality or pro level gaming headset, this will do just great for you. It's not audiophile, so don't go in expecting that. Expect it to be tweaked and the audio to be boosted according to what they think gamers want. So the bass, the treble again, the V-shaped pattern, all that good fun stuff. But it is a good headset. On head, it looks like a gaming headset. Even though you can unplug this mic, you're not going to fool anybody if you take it out. Music sounds good on it. It does. It really sounds good. But I wouldn't wear these out listening to music, obviously, because you're just, I don't know. It looks a little clumsy in that regard. So this is purely for gaming or lounging around the house where you cannot be seen, or you wouldn't want to be seen in public, I guess. One thing I didn't mention about the cable, though, that I will say, and about this whole headset as a whole, really, it just screams quality. From the build quality to the packaging to the microphone to even the cable itself. The cables they provide to you are braided cables, so they're not rubber. They're not cheaper. The only negative I can say about the cable is the inline mute switch feels a little hollow. It feels a little cheap. Like it's probably the cheapest thing, honestly, as far as the feel. It feels like thin plastic. You can't hear it, but even if you knock on it, it's kind of cheap, thin plastic. But that's a very minor thing, because more than likely you're not going to be messing with this thing a whole lot. That is the only mute switch, though. You don't have a flip to mute mic, so you have to switch mute on here. And you do have a volume knob on there, which you can adjust as well. But again, it just it's a really high quality headset, and for most people will probably love it. Turtle Beach has probably created a really good hit on their hands here. I think this can go toe to toe with the HyperX series, which is something that Turtle Beach desperately needed. Of course, it is wired, which is what I prefer. I've used wireless headsets in the past. I've got a pair of Astro A50s that don't get used a whole lot because I don't like whenever the battery dies and all of a sudden I'm without a headset. So I prefer wired. I also think the sound quality is better, my personal opinion, compared to wireless. So they are wired, but they're only $100. They are a really good headset. So I'm not going to try to deter anybody away from buying them or saying, hey, you should go do this or you should go do that. Definitely make up your own decision. It may be hard to find these right now. The only sites I've been able to find these on, I've not seen these in stores other than Best Buy. My local Best Buy actually had them, even though they said that they were online only. But Best Buy online has them, Amazon has them, and Newegg are so far the only three places that I've seen that carry this particular headset. Not seen it at Target, not seen it at Walmart. Not to say that that won't change in the near future, because I figure once modulars change and they start to get new product in, this may fall into that realm. And if you do look for it, it will more than likely. Now, whenever I ordered it from BestBuy.com, obviously they already had it up front ready for me. but it will probably be in the PC gaming area. And I say that just because, as you can see up top, it says PC gaming. Now, it does have all the other consoles listed, but this is marketed as a PC gaming headset first. So you may want to check in the PC section, because I know in my Best Buy they're segregated. Console headsets are with the console stuff, PCs on the complete opposite end of the store. So that may be the case. Again, I can't say 100% true, sure that that's the case, but I think that's probably what's going on. So again, I hope you guys appreciate this. I know it's a newer headset, so that's why I wanted to kind of do a review, because I've been searching for information on it. I had originally pre-ordered it. Couldn't find a lot of information on it. I saw like maybe 2 reviews. I know GameSki put up a review. He did a really good job on it. So if you guys want to check him out, he did a really good job on his review as usual. But other than that, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a somewhat quick, personal opinion on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll continue to try to push out new content as time goes on. I'm going to try to get a little bit more frequent. If you liked it, definitely hit the like. If you want to subscribe, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get off the ground with this in a very saturated area and market. So I appreciate your time. I understand time is important, but I appreciate it if you have watched this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.